Hey guys, I'm going to try this again. I have this gorgeous day here in Portland. So welcome to the Gritty Birds live feed. This is going to be something I'm going to be doing every week in conjunction with the articles I'm putting out on my website and the little mini blogs from the Anchor stream that I started that allows me to finally be on Spotify. I had a lot of people reaching out and saying, hey, are you on Spotify? And then a few people being like, look, here you are. So I'm repurposing that thread and just kind of rebuilding that particular little short show. And here we go. So today we're talking about content. So we're looking at how we want to be able to structure our shows intentionally. We're talking about being intentional when we're talking about content. I think that a person can find fantastic guests and have a solid intro and outro, but still sometimes find that the content of the show struggles because of the fact that you're not building between episodes or even necessarily tying connections between parts of your shows to others. Or maybe noticing out or missing out on opportunities that you can use based on those guests that could create a deeper connection to your listeners. So the first thing that I always recommend when I'm working on content is to create a rough skeleton. Because this week, all we're talking about is arcs. We're going to build out those skeletons in the next few weeks, as well as talk about some of the technicalities of being able to build things out. Your show can be as simple as you want. You can record anything that you want. But if you're able to look at the material that you have and kind of build that out in an intentional way, like I said, intentionality is the whole thing. You'd be amazed at the polishedness of your show and the fact that you can really grow it. So the first thing, I want you to go ahead and you're going to make a rough skeleton. You know, what does your show read like? What does it look like? When I started studying voice when I was really young, the thing that we would do is we would actually map out whole scenes and structure arcs, and you'd take a look at the whole song. What we often found was that there were these small parts where like there was a weakness in it, or there were certain sections of it when we were doing playwriting that needed to get cut. So being able to look at a show, especially if you already have one, and see like where in the skeleton are you finding the weakness? You know, if your back is not that strong, you're going to start hurting a little bit later. But if you have a really strong skeleton, you can go ahead and make minor tweaks. So for all of my shows, I'll go ahead and actually storyboard them. I use transcripts to be able to build everything out and actually have scripts for my shows. In the scripts for the shows that I edit for other people, we do have a document that goes ahead and clarifies like the beginnings, the endings, the middles, and pushes throughout those pieces, maybe different ways that we release those episodes throughout the month. So one show that I really love, Fireproof Your Money, there's one longer show that we edit that's put out weekly, and that longer show, then it becomes a radio show. And then there's another show, Behind the Bricks. I really like working for this particular company that I work with these two shows on. And on that show, we take the material and break those into different pieces throughout the month based on certain pieces of information that follows a longer arc. So if you're taking a look at arcs, I really recommend looking out a month ahead. When you're thinking about that, that's 4 shows. Consistency really makes a big difference and able to have people who listen, and weekly is the best. But if you can go bi-weekly, most of my clients are bi-weekly, then that's okay. However, you should kind of imagine that your listener is going to be taking a look through that month. So having those 2-week episodes is really important. So let's say we have a structure. Let's go back to structure. So we're creating a rough sketch, and then from there, I want you to take a look at even possibly moving around some of the guests that you might have, or thinking about if there's a topic that's timely that might be there, or what I've been recommending to a lot of people in my consults is starting to bring in the concept of segments. I love segments. So this is just an idea versus a rule, but segments are a really wonderful way to streamline things, because being able to have something that is timely every month or brings back to old material that references the shows that you have can really tie in a point that the guest is trying to deliver. So you could have a topic on something, and maybe that person is particularly we'll speak onward and onward, kind of like I am just a little bit here right now, and you're able to scale that back but then maybe bring in a transition using your voiceover if you can really get into voiceover work. And we'll talk more about that and later about how we might be able to connect these in that voiceover work. So that way you can really make those snaps happen and tie those pieces together in a neat way. So, but the first big thing, and today the part that I wanted to really clarify was make a rough sketch. When we're talking about content, we're looking at intentionality, and we're looking at how those segments that we create, intentionality, how all those segments, because every show has its segments. And the shows that I've seen the most grow are the ones that maybe had like a theme song at the beginning, and then they recorded on some kind of thing like their Yeti in the middle of the room, and the sound quality was terrible. But then they went ahead and started actually breaking up some of these pieces so they recorded a little differently, a little bit better, with themes that connected, and using, especially for comedy shows, say, having some of those themes just have a concept really, really pop. So that's my talk today for content. I am I am bringing on new clients. So if you're interested in working with me, just check in. I have a birthday this weekend, and we just launched a company, so this is a really neat time. You can send me an email at jennywren@gbpodcasting. Actually, I keep forgetting that I changed it. Just go ahead for right now and send it to grittybirds@gmail.com. That's a really great way to reach me. You can also message me on Instagram. That's Gritty Birds Podcasting. So please spread the word if you know anyone who needs a free consult. Right now I'm working with Calendly and looking into some other great systems, and hope that we can work together really soon. So thanks again for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next week with part 2 of the monthly series on content.